And pictures.
Hello. Oh, a nice cup of tea. The tea's in the pot, and I don't take sugar, and the milk's in the fridge. Oh, where is it? Oh, that's funny. I bought a new carton yesterday, and I only used half. Here it is. Oh, no, it's gone off. Oh, I don't want lumpy sour milk in my tea. I know. I'll have an apple instead. Apple. Attic. Abacus. What else can you see that starts with the same sound? Look at this. I only put it down a minute ago and it's gone brown already. It won't be long before it goes mouldy, and I wouldn't want to eat it then. When food's stored properly, it can be kept for a long time. Onions can be pickled, and when grapes are dried out, they become sultanas, and sultanas keep for a lot longer than grapes. Food in tins keeps for a long time. But one of the best ways of keeping food fresh is to freeze it. The fish fingers in here have been frozen. And to make sure that the fish in each finger is fresh, the fish are put into ice as soon as they come out of the sea. A net full of fish. As soon as the nets are emptied, the fish are packed in ice, ready for the long journey back to harbour. The ice helps to keep the fish fresh until they get to the factory. Only the best bits of the fish, called fillets, are used to make fish fingers. The fillets are cut away, then packed together and frozen into one big block of fish. Every day, hundreds of blocks are taken to the factory to be cut and made into fish fingers. The checker makes sure only the best pieces of fish are used. It's a noisy place to work, so she wears earplugs to protect her ears. The fish are covered in batter and breadcrumbs. Now they're beginning to look like fish fingers. Then they're heated just long enough to cook the breadcrumbs, but not the fish. All the fish fingers are then frozen, ready to be put into their boxes. If a box isn't full of fish fingers, it's blown off the conveyor. The boxes are stacked, wrapped, and packed up into big boxes, ready to be taken to the shops. If I leave these in the freezer, they'll stay fresh for months. Today's story is about some insects who were busily gathering food to store for the winter. It's called The Grasshopper and the Ants. All summer long, the ants were very busy. They hurried and scurried backwards and forwards, collecting food, all day long. Every day, they gathered enough food to eat for that summer's day and enough food to store for a winter's day. However, Grasshopper was enjoying the summer. All day long, he sang aloud and lazed in the warm sun. Whenever he was hungry, he just helped himself to the food growing all around him. It was a good summer, and there was always plenty of food, far more than he could eat. Grasshopper lounged around, laughing at the ants as they carried their heavy loads of food in the hot sun.
Stop working so hard. You make me tired just watching you. Why don't you have a holiday and enjoy the beautiful summer?
One of the ants stopped for a moment.
If we spend all the summer singing like you, we'll be singing for our supper in the winter,
he said. The grasshopper laughed again.
Who cares about tomorrow? Enjoy today,
he said. And he ate some more corn and sang another song. The ant picked up his load and rejoined his friends. All day long, the ants carried food to the anthill, and then they carefully stored their winter's supply deep inside, so it would keep for months until it was winter and there was no food in the fields. One day, at the end of harvest time, the weather grew colder. The fields were bare, and soon the trees lost their leaves. Before long, the water froze, and only a few berries were left. All day long, Grasshopper tried to shelter from the cold wind, but he became hungrier and hungrier until he had to go out and look for some food. The ants had long since settled into their anthill for the winter. They were warm and dry and well fed. Their food stores were lasting well, except for one damp room of grain, which had a leaky roof. As soon as there was a sunny day, some ants started repairing the roof, and the rest carried the grain outside to dry it. As they were spreading all the grains out to dry in the sun, Grasshopper came by. When he saw all that food, he stopped and said,
I'm so hungry. Please, will you give me some of your grain?
One of the ants stopped working for a moment.
Why should we give you any of our grain? There are many of us, and we need all our stores for ourselves. Anyway, what's happened to your own store of food for the winter?
I don't have a store,
said the Grasshopper.
I didn't have time to gather any food last summer because I sang songs all day long.
The ant laughed, and all the others joined in.
If you spent the summer singing, You'll have to spend the winter dancing for your supper, they said.
The grasshopper wished he'd thought about winter a bit more in the summer. He was so hungry, he didn't feel like singing anymore. And he went on his way, a sadder but wiser grasshopper. Ah, poor old grasshopper. Those ants could have let him have just a little bit of food. Here are some more ants. Ant. Apple. Axe. Angry ant. Angry ant. Both these words start with the same letter. Watch how Magic Pencil writes it. All the way round, down and flick. 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 This is an ant colony. The ants in here are very busy scurrying about. And the ants in this song are very busy marching. The ants go marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching one by one. The little one stopped to suck his thumb and they all went marching down to the earth to get out of the rain. Boom, boom, to the earth to get out of the rain. The ants go marching two by two, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching two by two, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching two by two. The little one stopped to do up his shoe and they all went marching down to the earth to get out of the rain. Boom, boom, to the earth to get out of the rain. The ants go marching three by three, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching three by three, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching three by three. The little one stopped to climb a tree and they all went marching down to the earth to get out of the rain. Boom, boom, to the earth to get out of the rain. Bye.
Thank you.